Fuck. It's super, super durable. As I said before, I've had this for 10 years. But yeah, this weight feels heavy. Get a good stretch. Squeeze, get a good stretch. That's kind of a sign that it's not the right exercise for your low back and for your body. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your friendly neighborhood chiropractor, and it's leg day. So, a couple weeks ago, I talked about having 2 leg days in each week, but that's been a little bit difficult because, one, I think my body's having a tough time recovering in terms of my jointed ligaments around my hips and my knees. And the second reason is I've been playing paddle and I've been improving with that. And although my form and technique is better, I'm not a professional. So I'm still not good at having good foot positioning, and I think that's affecting and adding more stress to my hips and knees. So now we're going back to training legs just once a week. I usually do 4 sets, but just to add a little bit more volume, I'm gonna do 5 total sets. I'm going back to training legs to failure for all 4 sets, and on the 5th one, I'll go maybe 2 or 3 reps before failure, because I did this last week, so 5 sets, and I went to failure on all 5 sets, and I was sore for 5-6 days. And to me, I think that's too long to be sore, because I also have to think about my joints and ligaments recovering, and they take even longer than muscle. So I definitely want to go, I definitely want to manage that level of soreness. So instead of doing 5 sets to full failure, I'm gonna do 4 sets to full failure. And the 5th one, just to get a little bit more volume, I'll do, but going about 2 or 3 reps before failure. So that should reduce the level of soreness that I have, and that also allows my joints and ligaments to not have as much stress and allows me to continue playing paddle, not having as many problems. Right now I'm doing this is considered an intro workout, but I use it as my pre-workout just to have some carbs before I train, because I don't like to eat before I train, especially early in the morning. So we added our main carb source, the cluster dextrin. I already added my EAAs. I already added creatine, and I already added some hydrolyzed collagen that we've been adding to our supplements. And just gonna finish this off with a bit of water. So this is the fit for today. I got some pants from Nike that I really like. They're very, very comfortable, especially on leg days. These shoes are also Nike. I'm actually not going to wear them for my leg day. I have some Olympic weightlifting shoes that I'll wear that are black, like this shirt. This shirt, it doesn't look like it, but it's actually easily the heaviest shirt that I have. It's a lot of material that's on it. It's very, very high quality. Anyone that knows this brand knows that if you buy any shirts from them, they'll last for years. Now, this is the back. And if you think this shirt looks big on me now, I bought this over 3 years ago. So it was even bigger on me then. because I'm bigger now. So it's already, or excuse me, it's still a bit oversized for me, but I like how it feels. And I actually really like oversized shirts. So this is the fit for today. I'm gonna show you the shoes that I'm gonna wear, and a little bit of explaining on some equipment if you're wondering if you need to get flat shoes that have this or that, and also some equipment that you might want to consider if you're going to have a high amount of heavy leg days and you're really going to train to failure. Here's I'm going to show you some equipment that can really help you. Now these are the shoes that I'm actually going to wear for my leg day. They're just basic, you know, everyone, when I used to at least compete in powerlifting, these were super common. I just kept them, and now I use them every now and then when I bodybuild. But these have a very flat bottom, as you can see, okay? And they have a strap where you can get tight and not allow your feet to move within the shoe, which is also important. And they do have a little bit of a higher heel, which helps if you're having poor ankle flexibility. This is actually a really nice plus. The other piece of equipment that I would recommend if you have, if you're able to, is getting a weightlifting belt. Now this one is very high quality. I've literally had this for 10 years. And there's barely any damage to it. I mean, it's ridiculous how durable this belt is. Now, not all belts are this durable. I mean, this was a customizable belt. As you can see, my name is on it. It has a nice, unique color. And when this actually has a little sleeve on it. It's actually used so you can put your phone in it, so you can have your phone with you if I don't know, for whatever reason you don't have pockets. I used to actually use this a lot when I would squat. I would have my belt on and I would put my phone in there. And I think this was the time when you would have wires for the AirPods. So they didn't have the wireless. So I think that's why they designed this, because this is really old, obviously. And I don't think the wireless AirPods, earphones were available. So you would have your earphones in, you would have the wire, and you put your wire connected to your phone, and you put your phone through here. So you didn't have to put it in your pocket when you squatted, because when you squatted, obviously it would get maybe a bit stuck within the leg and your hip if you had your phone still in your pocket while you were squatting down. So putting your phone here made you feel a lot more free when you were squatting down. But anyways, the reason I'm going back to using this weightlifting belt, I almost never use it now, but I've been squatting heavier and heavier on the hack squat, and this actually helps my knees more than anything, because this actually helped me lift a little bit more weight, because it kind of reinforces the idea of having a strong core and keeping that nice and stiff when you're squatting down. But it actually helped me a little bit at the bottom phase. So when I go back up at the bottom, I feel stronger with the belt on when I'm forcing that strong brace, and I get less tension on my knees because I get a little bit of a extra boost in my strength when I'm going from the bottom all the way back up. So this does help with my knees. So I'm looking forward to using this again and seeing how it feels. But yeah, this is honestly one of the best things I've ever bought. I love the material. It's super durable. As I said before, I've had this for 10 years. And I mean, there's some bit of damage to it, but I mean, this is not going to rip off because the knitting here is still perfect. It's not loose or anything. To be honest, I don't know how they made this so durable, but yeah, easily one of the best things I've ever bought. And I also chose this color because it's my favorite color. And so yeah, it's a combo of blue and green. I call it turquoise. But yeah, love this color. Doesn't look good on me with clothes, to be honest. But it's a nice color for accessories like this. All right guys, we're finally back at the gym. I'm gonna always start with calves, and again, if you want to maintain the health of your knees, especially when you're squatting heavy all the time, you need to make sure you have good ankle flexibility. It's extremely important, okay? Even if you don't want to grow your calves, just mechanically loading your calves for maybe a set of, or 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps with some decent weight will allow you to get a little bit more ankle flexibility before you start. So we're gonna do a few sets of this, and then we'll move on to training our quads. So like I was saying before, even if you don't want to grow your calves, if you have big calves, I don't, but if you have big calves, you don't really need to grow them. Just doing a few sets of this where you're loading your calves with something heavy, get a good stretch, squeeze, get a good stretch, squeeze, get a good stretch, squeeze. Just doing 1 or 2 sets of 8 to 10 like that, you'll notice, you'll feel that stretch in your calves, and you'll feel even better when you're squatting down or doing any sort of squatting movement, for sure, okay? Okay, still warming up, but my knees feel pretty good, not too bad. But yeah, this weight feels heavy. Okay, like I talked about before, my weight is at an all-time low, but I've lost so much weight that the belt was too loose. It literally doesn't do anything for me. I don't have enough here to push against the belt, so I'll just do this set without a belt. All right, here's the first set. Always make sure my feet are perfect. Shit!
We have to lift with our legs!
All right, set number 2. I did something stupid. Forgot to put my knee sleeves on. Well, I was not going to restart the set. I still got the same amount of reps I was expecting to, so +1 from last week. So that's progress. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to pendulum squats. I had 3 plates last week for 8 reps. I add another 10 kgs and hoping to get at least 6. So we'll see how this goes. Shit! That was a good set. All right, second set on this exercise. So this is a total of 4 sets. Whew. Fuck. The goal was 6. I got 6. I thought I had 7. But that's okay, mission accomplished. But I know I got to failure, that's for sure. So the third exercise for quads is going to be this leg press. Feels very, very comfortable for my hips and knees. I'm gonna finish off with this. This is the 5th set. And like I said before, we're not really worried about pushing all the way to failure on this one. I got more than enough done on the first 4 sets. So we'll go maybe 2 or 3 reps before failure on this. This is my last warm up on this one. And then we'll move on to the actual working set. You always need to make sure you're protecting your low back when you do leg presses. So trying to keep your back fairly flat is going to be really, really important so you don't put too much stress on your low back. So if you do the leg press and you go all the way, to what you can tolerate or how far you can go, but you notice that you start to get a little bit of a extension in your low back, okay? If it goes too extended, then don't go as far to that point. So if you're getting hopefully enough flexibility, where maybe you're up to here, which is already a good position and a good stretch for your quads, I would not go deeper if I notice that my low back starts to get extended. Okay, so only go as far as your low back can manage that position of reducing that extension. So try to keep your back flat. If you go down and you notice that it starts to extend your low back, if you go further down, only stop right here or wherever the stretch is. Now, if you can only go maybe about here for the leg press, unless this is just a really genetically good exercise for you, I would not recommend doing leg press because that's just not enough of a stretch for your quads. So I would choose a different exercise, because if you get to about here and your low back already starts to extend, that's kind of a sign that it's not the right exercise for your low back and for your body. All right. Okay. That's good. Really good set. Goal is to get at least 5 or 6 reps. Wasn't really worried about how many reps I got. And as you can see, I'm not as tired after this set as the first 4 reps because I'm not really pushing to failure. This was about maybe 2 or 3 reps before that, and that alone makes a big difference for me. So now we're gonna finish off with the adductors, and that's leg day. Before we move on to the adductors, maybe you're wondering, because I said 4 sets is enough for my quads, so maybe you're wondering why I'm doing a 5th set. one, I'm only training legs once a week, so that 5th set is almost like a little bit of extra assurance to make sure I'm getting enough volume in. 5 sets is not a lot of volume. 4 sets is definitely not a lot of volume. For me, it is enough, but that 5th set, just to get a little bit of extra reps in and getting a little bit closer to failure, gives me a little bit of that extra assurance to make sure I think, okay, I don't think more is necessary, but maybe 4 sets is too little. So 5 is sort of that good sweet spot. Now, 4 sets to failure is a lot of volume if you're training to failure like I am. And I do think 5 total sets to failure is a lot, even though it doesn't sound like it. But when you are training heavy enough, that's a lot of weight on your legs that you're challenging. So if you're getting really strong and you're kind of at your peak, like me, I'm kind of getting closer to my peak compared to someone that's been working out for 5 years. I've been working out for over 15 years, so I've built up this level of strength. If someone is just starting out, 5 sets may not be enough because they don't know what failure feels like. Even though they think they're training to failure, they'll realize after another year or another year or another year, they can do a lot more volume and they can train a lot closer to failure than they expected. So this adductor machine is way too light. So I added some extra weight there. I'm also gonna put these 2 down as well. ¿Quieres esta máquina?
No. Gracias. Sí, dale. Es uno. Y tras. Y la desaccionada. Se acabó.
Okay. Shit. Adductors are easily one of the most painful muscles that you can train. That reminds me, I remember I was training another gym. Had this older lady that was right next to me. She saw that I was really stretching wide when I was doing my adductors. She said, "Oh, you should be careful because I injured myself. You don't want to go that wide." I know she said it in a very caring way and she was really concerned for me. But she doesn't know how I train. She doesn't know that I always control my reps. She doesn't even know my genetics. Her genetics just may not allow for her to go that wide, and that's why she got injured. To give me that kind of advice and to tell me that I should not go that wide is pretty ignorant, because she doesn't know what my anatomy is for my hips. She doesn't know my genetics. She doesn't know how I train. Most likely, I train with better control than her. Most likely, I've progressively overloaded my adductors in a way that's probably more gradual. So there's just so many factors for her to just blatantly tell me not to go that wide. I mean, I'm sorry if she got injured, but that doesn't make sense to just assume someone else should not be able to do that, okay? So if you're worried about getting injured or anything. If you're training with full control, you know, you're not letting the weight move you, that whole time I was in control of the weight the whole time. I was never relaxed on my adductors at all. So if you're controlling the weight and you're progressively, gradually increasing the weight and you're recovering properly, then that's a good sign that you're doing everything right. You know, your form and technique is probably doing really well. You're not noticing that you're getting any extra aches and pains. You're feeling good every single week that you have to train. Don't worry about what other people say, because you know you're doing things right, so there's nothing to worry about. Here's something you can try for your adductors. Instead of holding the handles like this, try internally rotating your hands and hold them like this. I swear to you, there must be some sort of neurological advantage to this, because I've done this, I've had my girlfriend do this. We both are noticeably stronger when we train with our grip like this on the handles compared to regular grip with holding the handles. Just try it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's leg day. So we focused on getting 4 quality sets to failure. We got that 5th set in, maybe 2 or 3 reps before failure, just to get a little bit more volume in and give me the extra assurance that I got enough volume in for my quads. So the next week I can be more sure that I'm hitting that maximal level of growth for my quads. Of course, like I said, try if you can, start with a little bit of work on your calves, just to mechanically load those calves and stretch them out a little bit before you get into flexion exercises. So in other words, when you're bending down for doing squats, whether it's the barbell, hack squat, leg press, they're all flexion of the knee. And if you stretch your calves and get better flexibility for your calves in general before you do that, it gets your knees a lot healthier. So that's my biggest advice for today. Like I said, in terms of equipment, you can get a nice flat shoe that'll help have equal distribution on all areas of your feet when you're squatting down or doing any squatting exercises. You can get a belt like I showed you before. It's not necessary, but it is a good tool to have for some exercises. Like I said before, I've lost so much weight that the belt actually did nothing for me. I think I need to do another hole in there to actually use it, because it's too big. It's not a belt I can use. Even if I go back to the actual holes that it was designed for, those are too small. So I need to find something in between so I can actually use that belt and push against the force of the belt and get an advantage when I'm doing any heavier lifts like the hack squat. But yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of tips that I added in the videos and you get a better idea of what training to failure is. And I hope I see you guys real soon. Nope, before we get into that, like I said, I'm gonna do my usual 6 eggs and a bagel for breakfast. And then I'll finish off by saying I hope I see you guys real soon at the squat rack and in the kitchen. Have a good morning, guys.